I'm Neville Watson, and this is why I love my Akai S950. Right, this sampler, 12-bit, monophonic, so you can, you know, if you put, I mean, it's basically my drum sampler, really. So if you put like hats in there, you'll get the same kind of effect you'll get, a choking effect, basically, like you'll get with the hats on a 707. Where the one hat will close off the other, or one sample will close off another one. Floppy drive, you know, obviously some people hate these. I love them. I don't know why, just something about them that I quite like. Like I said, it's basically my main drum sampler. What I also will do with it is a little trick that I learned off some guy's blog recently, which is, you know, to go in on line in from the computer and then come back out of the mix on the back of the 950 and into the sound card. So if I don't really want to be, if I want to quickly get a 12-bit sound into the computer, and I don't want to use the bit crusher because I prefer the sound of the 950, I prefer the crunch and thump of that, then I'll use that technique, and then I can edit it either in Ableton or Logic, whatever I'm using at that time. As I said, it was the first sampler that I ever bought. I basically bought this 950 and this Mackie desk, a Lexicon reverb, and DX100 in 1998. I'd used an S3000 before in other people's studios, so I knew my way around that, and obviously you can see the waveform and everything on that. So when I got my 950 and I couldn't see the waveform, I didn't really know what I was doing, basically. So I managed to get a manual off of somebody and just learnt it inside out, basically. So for the first 10 years, it was all I was really using until I upgraded to a Mac that had audio on it. I was doing all my sounds on this, and last year when my sound card went up the blink and I needed to finish some things, I just basically used Logic and my sampler. I just went back to doing that, so I know that no matter what happens, you know, I don't necessarily need a sound card. I've got my desk, I've got my 950, and I've got MIDI. I can make tracks with my samplers, basically. It's only got one filter, which has got no resonance on it. It's only got a low pass filter on it. You can set the bandwidth for different samples to save on time on there. So it's only got something like about 30 seconds of memory in there. So, you know, all these little hip-hop tricks that people used to use, although you might take a sample, you might take a loop. I won't only just put single drum hits in there, I'll put loops in there as well. So you might record a loop on 45 and then slow it down to save on sample time. But in doing that, it really crunches the sample up as well. So you get a really, really nice sort of low-end rumble off of that as well. It's got separate outputs, so you can break it out onto the desk. I just love it, basically. The backlight's a bit temperamental at the moment. So, I mean, you know, when I bought it, I paid £350 for it. But for a long time, they were kind of like 50 quid on eBay. And I was looking on there the other day and they've gone right back up again. So obviously, you know, these things are in vogue, and for good reason. You know, it's a great sampler. So if you get a chance to pick one up and you feel like getting your head around it, you should do that.